Hi, I'm Emily. Shalom. Welcome! This is your very first information that you'll be presented in our course that we'll be learning and growing together in, Jewish Education through Musical Play. Hopefully, since you're here, you already understand that you don't need to be, some incredibly talented musician. You don't really need to be anything other than a person who wants to be a part of a community and who wants to improve the ways that you use music in your teaching. There are so many wonderful ways to do this. I'm going to tell you about a bunch of them that I found really useful. I grew up as a song leader in youth groups and grew up in the camp movement. And then when I got a job in college at a JCC in the preschool, I was basically like a tushy wiper because that's what my credentials allowed me to do. I would sometimes bring my guitar because in the afternoons there wasn't a whole lot going on. And they were like, oh, do you want to, teach music to these kids? And I was like, oh, that's a job. And they said, yeah, we'll even pay you a little more. And I was like, great. So I really accidentally stumbled into a career, but that was more than 10 years ago, and I've made a full-time living teaching and singing and playing and dancing and writing and just doing all sorts of really enjoyable and, turns out, ultimately majorly educational things in the Jewish community. I live and work in South Florida. I have a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old. I just completed the doctoral program at Gratz, and my dissertation was on Tot Shabbat, so that's something that isn't the exact focus of our course, but if it's something you want to learn and talk about more, it's my pleasure to discuss it. So in the next couple of weeks, all you really need to know is that you can always reach out to me with any questions, comments, or concerns. You need to be checking in at least once, but probably more like 3 times a week with the class so that you can make sure that you get a hold of the assignment, that you look at the information that I've presented, and that you participate in the forums. I think, like as in so many things in life, you get out about as much as you put in. So this can be easy, this can be difficult, it's really up to you, and I just want to support you in getting a little bit further in your journey than you are now. Please don't compare yourself to the other students, because if there's a cantor in here, that person probably knows a little bit more about Jewish music, and if there is a mother of 10 who's been in an infant room for the past decade, she probably knows a little bit more about babies. So we're just going to learn. I'm going to tell you a lot of things that have worked really well for me. I am confident that parts of what I've done will work for you too, but you're also going to need to adapt them and to change them. And please never feel any sort of anxiety to say, hey, I like this, but I think I would do it in this way, or hey, you suggested this, but I see a problem, X, Y, or Z. That's what this whole experience is about, learning about some of the ideas that have worked in other places and figuring out how to adapt them to your environment. So this week you've got a podcast to listen to, you've got a PowerPoint to breeze through, you've got some lectures to read, you've got some apps to play with, you've got a whole lot to do, so I hope you enjoy, and I'll see you again next week.